administration offices in there, and then the administration offices up there, make classrooms or whatever else they need to save some bucks for that.
Alright, it is 3 p.m., 3:01 p.m. technically. I'll call the joint review board meeting to order. Roll call please. When I call the jurisdiction that you represent, please say here and your name. Russ County.
Here.
And your name?
Ashley Heath.
Thank you. City of Ladysmith.
Here, Al Christensen Senior.
Thank you. Northwood Technical College.
Here, Brett Gerber.
Thank you. School District of Ladysmith. School District of Ladysmith. And Laura did tell me she'd be here or joining somehow, so if she shows up, we'll still let her in. Alright, so we do have a quorum with the 3 that are here.
I'd like to make a motion to select Marty Reynolds, who's here with us today, as the public member. That would continue a tradition that goes back as far as this board has existed, to offer that role first to the president of the Ladysmith Community Industrial Development Corporation, because TIFA is an economic development tool, and that entity, which is a private entity, has worked very closely with the city over the years, done a couple of very critical projects like 2 or 3 expansions of Rockwell Automation that wouldn't have been possible without the Development Corporation's partnership with the city. So I'd like to continue to hold that role tightly, and so nominate Mr. Reynolds.
We have a motion to nominate. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Brett. Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? Hearing none, we can close the nominations. You've heard the motion and the second for Marty Reynolds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Join us at the table, sir.
Is this where I give my speech?
Yes.
Thank you.
Agenda item 4, appointment of joint review board chair.
I would nominate Mr. Christensen as the council member, as the chairman for the day.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second for Mr. Christensen. Any other nominations? Any other nominations?
I move that nominations be closed and unanimous ballot cast for Mr. Christensen.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Reynolds, seconded by Brett to close nominations and cast unanimous ballot for Al Christensen Senior. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Thank you.
Congratulations.
That brings us to item 5, which is the main point of this meeting, which is review of the last year's performance in the City of Ladysmith's tax incremental districts number 8 through 16. My role is fairly easy here. The person that's done most of the work over the course of the year are sitting here with us, Mr. Christensen Jr. and the city comptroller.
Mrs. Stumpy, you can grab a packet and an agenda and sit wherever you'd like.
So with that, I'll turn it over to you to begin the review, Mr. Minister.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Christensen. So you should all have a pretty hefty packet in front of you. We'll just go in order.
I'll sit here. I'll move my bag. Yeah.
So the first one in numerical order is TID 8. That district was created in 2003. The expenditure period ends in 2025 with a final termination date of 2030. The purpose of TID 8 was designed to eliminate blighting influences and promote growth in the tax base and job base, which will benefit not only the City of Ladysmith but overlying taxing jurisdictions. The jurisdictions will benefit from general prosperity, which will in time result from orderly expansion promoted through implementation of this project plan. And then the most recent amendment to the plan was in April 2013 to allow it to be recipient district from District 11, and to add projects within a half-mile radius, and add projects to be constructed outside the district, but that serve the district, which is allowed under state statute 66.1105, sub 2, sub F 1K. The second page is a map of the district. The solid color is the district boundary. The ring is the half-mile radius. Third page is the revenue and expense report for the year 2022. Fund balance at the beginning of the year was $477,074. Increment brought in was $121,115. Total expenditures in the district were $362,688. The surplus for this district as of 12/31/22 was $255,970. Question?
Quick, what was the DNR grant? If you don't know offhand, that's not.
I just gotta find it. That was matching the city applied for a park aids grant through the DNR to construct that concrete lighted pathway in Memorial Park.
Oh,
So the city share, it was a 50-50 split, the city share came out today.
okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions at all on the revenue or expense for TID 8? Hearing none, moving on to TID 9, and I won't read through all this. Some of these do get a bit lengthy, but if anyone does want explanations, please let me know. TID 9 was created in 2006. The expenditure period actually ended in 2021. The mandatory termination date is listed as 2037. However, it's very likely that will terminate prior to that date. The city created that district as a mixed-use district, and it encompasses the former Mount Scenario College campus, Walmart area, and other areas around Highway 27 from the Flambeau River going up towards Highway 8. And it was established to improve property within the district, to promote commercial, industrial, and residential development, to provide a more diversified employment base, and to promote orderly and stable growth of the community. The most recent amendment to that district occurred in 2021. Actually, 2020, sorry about that, for taxes to be paid in 21. It subtracted some territory from the north end of the district, so closer to Highway 8. That allowed the city of Ladysmith to get under the 12% limit imposed by DOR in order to form a couple other TID districts. Next page, solid color again is what the current district map is, and the ring and the kind of transparent color is the half-mile radius. And moving on to the revenue and expense. Beginning balance was a negative $15,390. Total revenues were $201,743. Total expenditures were $211,800, which left the district in a $25,447 deficit at the end of the year. Any questions there? Moving on to TID 10, which was created as an industrial district in 2007. Its expenditure period actually ended in 2022, and it has a target termination date of 2027. The purpose was to promote new development and redevelopment in the Ladysmith Industrial Park. One of the early projects was the rebuilding of Meadowbrook Road, including a number of utilities to allow for construction of the index pellet plant. The most recent amendment, 2013, added projects proposed to be constructed outside of the district that would serve the district as allowed under 66.1105 2F1K. Moving on to the map, again, solid color is the district boundaries, the lighter color is the half-mile radius. And then moving ahead to revenue and expense, beginning balance was negative $78,307. Total revenue was $45,130. Total expenditures were $27,912, leaving a deficit at the end of 2022 of $61,089. Any questions on that one? TID 11, created in 2011 as a mixed-use district, has a 15-year expenditure period that goes through 2026. Set to terminate fully in 2031. The district encompasses the Ladysmith nursing home property located north of US Highway 8. On 2021, that district was amended to allow TID 11, which has a relatively healthy revenue balance right now, to become a donor district to TIDs 12, 14, 15, and 16. Prior to that, 11 was also made a donor for District 5 and District 8. And the next page shows the maps again, solid color being the district, which in this case is a single parcel, and ring being a half-mile radius. Moving to revenues and expenses. The fund balance at the beginning of the year was $907,101. Total increment collected in 22 was $196,982. Total expenditures were $11,738, leaving a fund balance at the end of the year of $1,092,345. Question?
Oh, so this is a donor TID? I'm just gonna,
Yes.
okay. Has the city ever gotten to the end of a, TID district and extended per year for the purpose of saving for affordable housing?
We haven't yet. I believe, that just came into law in the last couple of years. But that is something I think the council would consider looking at, especially given the push to create some workforce housing here in the community, and kind of the struggle that we faced so far. So I would think that would be at least looked at for any of the active kids here when they near their termination date. Because as you mentioned, you can collect increment for one additional calendar year and then apply that increment towards a housing fund.
Yeah, right, and a lot of times it doesn't make sense if the kid isn't very, wealthy, but some have a big surplus or can generate a lot over the course of the year, depending on what's in the TID district, so.
Correct.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Cool. Any other questions relative to TID 11? Hearing none, moving on to TID 12. That was created in 2020 as a mechanism to facilitate elimination of blighted property. This is the former Ladysmith Elementary School property. It has an expenditure period end of 2042 and a termination date of 2047. The city intends to construct a series of public capital improvement projects to promote redevelopment, increase tax base, and create employment opportunities. That's about it on this one. It's still relatively new, and hopefully we'll have some exciting news that we can officially break here coming up soon. Next page is again the map showing the district and the half-mile radius. Moving on to the revenue and expenses. Fund balance at the beginning of the year was negative $900. No revenue came in because it is still all in public ownership. And there were additional expenditures of $900, resulting in a deficit of $1,800. Any questions on that district? Moving on to 13, that was created in 2021 as a mixed-use district. This is includes the former hospital property, the Servants of Mary Convent, the former Servants of Mary Cemetery, the new hospital clinic site, and a couple other vacant lots. The district is anticipated to be a mix of commercial, including healthcare, professional services, and mixed-use development. expenditure period, ends in 36 and the termination date is in 41. Next page shows the district map and the half-mile radius. And then revenue and expenditures, beginning fund balance was negative $6,888. No revenue in 22 as the properties were still all in public ownership. Expenditures of $900, leaving a deficit of $7,788. Any questions on TID 13? TID 14, set up again as a mixed-use district. This one overlaps a bit with TID 10 out in the industrial park. Again, it creates the opportunity to construct a series of capital improvement projects to encourage redevelopment and new development, to increase the city's tax base, and create employment opportunities within Ladysmith. Similar expenditure period of 2036 and termination date of 2041. To TID 13. Next page is the boundary map, which we take all the way from the Index property to the south up to the former animal shelter north and across the Flamingo River. Fund balance at the beginning of the year was negative $19,182. No revenue. There were expenditures of $39,224, creating a deficit of $58,406 at the end of calendar 2022. Any questions? Moving on to TID 15. That one's actually right behind us here to the south of City Hall. It was established as a rehabilitation conservation district. The intended use here was to assist with rehabilitation or demolition of buildings and creation of improvements where necessary, including public capital improvement projects to eliminate blight, promote redevelopment, increase tax base, and create employment opportunities to serve as a catalyst for redevelopment of properties in Ladysmith Central Business District. As a rehabilitation conservation district, this district has a 22-year expenditure period similar to the blight remediation district, and then a termination date of 2042. Next page shows the map and the district and the half-mile radius. And then moving on to the revenues and expenditures, TID fund balance at the beginning of the year was a negative $12,508. No revenue came in, and total expenditures were $3,501, leading to a deficit at the end of the year of $16,009. Any questions on that district? Then the final district that we're covering today, TID 16, also created in 2021. This encompasses a single parcel, the former Connection store on the north end of town. It's created a rehabilitation conservation district. So again, the 22-year expenditure period ending in 2043 and the final termination date of 2048. Next page is the map. And then just skipping right along to the fund balance. At the beginning of the year, negative $1,000, zero revenue came in 22, and total expenditures of $930, resulting in a end of year deficit of $1,930. Any questions on that? Any just general questions on TID expenditures, either over the past year or in general, going back over time? Any projects? All right. Thank you. Moving on to number 6. Some tentative expenditures for 2023. Some are obviously already underway since we're in June. This is not an all-inclusive list, but the city's been working on engineering and design for a minor avenue rebuild. That was estimated, just the engineering and design of $250,000, which would be paid out of TID 8. We have a potential developer grant for the old elementary school project of an estimate again of $250,000 that would come from TID 12. The third one I have is local match for a $1.2 million EDA industrial park project. If you've been out to the industrial park, or Mrs. Stunkley, you live out that way, you've probably seen the water lines and cones out on the highway. The city received 80% grant funding on a $1.2 million project to loop a water line to provide steady water pressure to the industrial park, and then rebuild Barnett and Gustafson Road with the hopes of attracting additional manufacturing investment. So that local match was estimated at approximately $250,000 out of TID 14. As you might have read in the paper a few weeks back, there would also be a TID payment to put towards the Farmers Market Pavilion project at the top of the bridge here across from the courthouse. That was estimated at $100,000 to come out of TID 8. There could also be a lot of other smaller projects, other planning projects, but those are kind of the heavy hitters, I guess, that I foresee here in 2023. And again, a lot of those are any questions on those?
Can you, talk a little bit about the old elementary projects, or basically what you gave is all you can talk about?
It has a target close date, so to sell to the developer, of August 31st. And then they're projecting, I believe, breaking ground in late September, early October. It'll include repurposing the classrooms into apartments, I think 33 apartments ranging from 1 to 3 bedrooms. Where the playground is currently, that'll be removed and replaced with 7 3-bedroom townhomes. Approximately 33, I believe, single-car garages for the apartments, so they can all have some garage space as well. And then some of the project that the city's actually working on with them that will be outside of their immediate scope will be potential relocation of Ladysmith skate park down there, and then replacing the playground that's down there, hopefully with an ADA accessible playground for the residents of the community. So, and they, I think, anticipate being completed and ready for folks to move in by December 31st of 24. So it'll be a pretty fast project, assuming there aren't any road bumps. Any other questions?
Moving on then, the next action here would be action to approve these annual reports for these TIF districts. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Also move.
Mr. Gerber's made a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Reynolds has seconded. Any questions before we vote on that? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, no? Motion carried. I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, we have Ms. Heath's made a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Mrs. Stunkel has seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, no? Thank you all for coming in and getting through this formality and hopefully learning a little bit more about where these districts are and their lifespan. Thank you again.
And certainly if there are any other questions, feel free to reach out to me and I can provide all sorts of fun information. Thank you.
Yeah.
Went into